Alright, testing 1, 2, 3. Is this thing even on? Alright, I think we're good to go. Okay, one more test with the mic off. That's really bizarre. Hang on a second. I don't think my sound settings are set up correctly. Test 1, 2. Press again. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, so I'm gonna be able to mute it so if I'm like moving this thing around, don't get a whole bunch of crazy cracks and pops. Alright, I don't think anybody's here right now. Maybe people will start coming in. I really don't care. I figured I haven't streamed in a long time. Might as well do something. This will be a little bit of an exciting challenge to get some new gear up and running live on stream. So I've also got a new mixer back here behind me. I'm pretty excited about that I can use for things like pocket operator jams later. It's also battery powered. Also got these pretty cool battery packs that I can use for my Roland boutiques. so I can start getting more mobile, start working towards that. But no hurry. Okay, let's get this thing open. I'm going to use a little scalpel knife here. That's really probably it. This came in another box. Okay, so what I'm expecting to find in here, of course, is a synthesizer. There may not be a manual, however. I did not get a manual with the Wasp, and it was brand new. And there may not be a ribbon cable, nor any patch cables. We shall see. There will always be a sticker, of course. So that's what I'm talking about. There may not be a manual already. If there's going to be a ribbon and patch cables, they'll be underneath here. Our power supply is here. One of the first things I'm going to do is label this thing. It should be 12 volts. It might only be 9 volts. That thing is small. So let's see, what is this? It is 12 volts at 1 amp. I like it, its form factor, as long as it's safe, of course. Most important thing about a power supply unit is that it is safe. Bonus if it works. Okay. So for this, you know, normally I kind of keep this with the manual and whatnot. In this case, I'm just going to throw this one away. I won't throw it away. I'll just put it in here with this for no good reason whatsoever. But I think I'm going to use the sticker over here where you can't see it. I got another one there behind me. Some more somewhere else. Okay. This part is always fun. Just like to lift it up on this side first and pull it up a little bit. Get it on its side. I can take this part off. And I can get this part out. I'll need to do a quick dusting. Alright, I'm just gonna think about this for a second. Now these bags are always interesting, how they are taped up. You can just rip it right out, but if you cut it just right, you won't have to. A lot of times scissors are good enough. I want to be careful and just do it with a little scalpel here. Trying carefully not to, there we go. And then it gets tricky again over here. Part if you can't see what I'm doing. Just trying to slice some tape. Voila. Alright, what a beautiful synth. This thing is kind of small and light too. Okay, we'll get the box out of the way. All right, see if I can get this over here for you to look at. That should do. My computer is not frying like a egg anymore, or it's not capable of frying eggs anymore, I should say. It was pretty hot when I first turned this thing on. Had to close a few things down. We're back to normal. So let's see. Boom. So this is one of the first things that I always do when I get a new synth is I like to label the wall wart, make sure that I don't get it confused. In the advent, that would never sell anything, but you know, it's not cool to get things lost in the mix. Like my scissors right now, I can't find them. They're hidden somewhere. Oh, I see them way over there. I'm not gonna be able to reach those. Not without taking off these headphones. Okay. And here we go. So I could just use another 12-volt wall wart if I wanted to. I've got some over here ready to go, but nah. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one out. A lot of what I'm doing right now is I'm basically just trying to test all new stuff. So I got a new camera. I've used this camera before to stream with, but it's still a new camera. This new mixer. These, the way that they're, okay, here we go. They are twisted so interestingly in a way that's easy to turn into spaghetti, but if you do it just right, it comes right apart. All right. Now let's see where yet way over here is where the power is. We're already turned off. It's set to MIDI channel 1. Turn it on. Nothing happens because I had that turned off. Turn it on, still nothing happens. There he goes. So we got a couple indicator lights here. And my camera is going to go in and out of focus. Well, that's wonderful. I'll try to go slow, I guess. Try to remember to do that. All right. So let me think. There is actually a way to, I think, just hold a note on this thing. So what I'm going to do is excuse me while I just keep burping and hiccuping. That came out of nowhere. I'm just going to grab an audio cable right quick. Okay, I would prefer a smaller one. This is one that I actually soldered together myself. So if there's any problems with the cable, it's my fault. All right now I've got the, watch your headphone levels if you're listening. Okay, I did not, oh yeah, of course I'm not going to hear that. I'll worry about that in a second, but that was a good test for me to remind me that I'm not going to be able to hear anything. Okay, I'm going to come out of the high output. There's a high and a low. Now let me think about where I'm going to keep the slack of this cable, the bulk of it, that is, the coil. Not ideal. I'm just going to go ahead and let it drape down the back, I guess. Best thing to do. Out of sight. Be collected later. So turn down line in. There's no mute on this mixer, which is okay. I don't mind that so much. Get the EQ to about normal. So as I was trying to say before, the PO12 is in channel 1. So what I need to do a quick adjustment. Hang on. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm using one set of headphones and then that set of headphones for the microphone. All right, so now I've got, let me test out the drum machine. It works. Wonderful. I'm going to get some kind of a different pattern though real quick. Okay, sorry about that. That was a distraction. All those patterns are currently being used. I was going to maybe... I can find one in there that I'm not using surely. Don't want to get rid of that one because... Man, I forgot how many patterns I put on this thing. I like that one. That works. Okay, so I think there's a way to just set this thing to hold it. Now, right now the pitch bend is set down to -1 naturally. All these things are set low. Oh yeah, this one thing I love about Behringer. Let me get this distraction off. They basically set everything to off. So when you get this thing, it will not make a sound. You've got to you've got to work on it to get the sound going. Let's see. I could have sworn that the Cat featured a hold. I know the Wasp does. I pointed over there to the right where you can't see where it is. I don't see it on here just yet. That's okay. I have a MIDI controller, but one thing I can say is that we're going to need some level. VCO2 is already set to have the score wave up a bit. Here's our filter cutoff. I'm trying to think. Probably want it high and the resonance low. Here is where things get interesting. We want to get a bit of this stuff going on. Otherwise, we won't hear anything unless we can just do something naturally here. Everything else, we just need some volume. I don't see any way to guess. I'm not sure what VCO1 audio on and off is. Might want to have that on though. So right now it's in mono mode for keyboard control. And these are the modulators. It's interesting. Cool. This is really, really, really cool. Okay, so octave shift is set normal. Pitch bend is set here. I don't see any tune. I think these are DCOs actually, now that I think about it. No, they're VCOs. They are VCOs. So there should be a tune on here somewhere. At any rate, I'm probably going to need to get like some kind of MIDI control going. So let me do that real quick. Okay, I'm going to try to use my little home brewed, whatchamacallit. Kind of take a look at the board here to make sure there's nothing that would prevent a signal from coming through. So I've got everything going against me right now. It's a brand new keyboard. I have no idea how to use it. No idea really. I mean, I know what these things kind of are, but you know, it's all foreign to me still nonetheless. Soon to be figured out. And I'm going to use a controller that is kind of tweaky to test with. Boom, just like that. Check this out. Well, that is most peculiar. Everything's turned off. So I've got VCO 1 is not being used right now, I don't think. Let me turn this off. Okay, here's my frequency up here. Okay, let's go back to VCO 2. Houston, we may have a problem. Go figure, it would be something like this when I do a live stream live stream. So what would be the problem here? Okay, let me check out the filter here just for a second. For the heck of it. Sorry. Now, what's wrong though with VCO 1? It's like we're only getting noise. So, no idea. No idea. Okay, there's the bypass. Okay, now noise is down. Got it. Now we got to do is figure out how to turn on VCO 1. I'm also hearing a click. You hear that? It's coming from the LFO. So, why do I not hear? It has to be the switch up here. Well, I don't know what to say. This is like not awesome at all because I'm not reading. Well, there is no manual, right? Urgh. Okay, so I definitely, every time I get one like a synth like this, there's always a learning curve. There's always something, you know, oh, okay. That's what you do. So right now I'm a little bit lost though. I am at a loss. That's really cool. Let's just, here we go. Here we go. Starting to get somewhere. See, like I said. Okay, let me get back to this. Okay, so I have no, like I said before, isn't that crazy? Before you go freaking out, you know, you just gotta, you're just a few button pushes away, as one of my old college professors said. Dust flake. All right, I think we're okay. All right, let's get a real MIDI controller hooked up. Something that cracks me up is people are always talking about, you know, wanting battery powered this and battery powered that. Well, pretty much everything's battery powered. Unless it takes in AC, like, you know, okay, this mixer is an exception. It's battery powered because it's built to be battery powered. There's a compartment underneath you can open up and stick some batteries inside of it. Otherwise, you could not power it with a battery. All the way in the back, it has a special connector that's hooked up to a special wall wart. And other sense, if anything takes like for example, the VC340 takes in straight AC 120, so you're not going to power that with the battery, that's for sure. But this guy right here, with this Arturia, I can definitely power it with this battery. Make sure if it's center positive or center negative. In this case, positive. All right, there's always something. It's always something, isn't it? All right, we'll figure this out too. So I was on channel 1. Yeah, I was on channel 1. That's always something, ain't it? Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot, that's why. Wrong hole. Need to turn off that modulation first. Oh, this is one of those special ones. Probably has a few different modes, but cannot control the key. You have to gotta work it. There may be a way to change that somehow. This keyboard control, I don't know. Well, that's interesting. Turn this thing set to, it is set to internal, I hope. What's happening, Bad Tooth? Hope I didn't catch it too late. Just messing around. I got the Behringer Cat just came in. Got it sorted out. Took a second to figure out how to get VCO 1 working. And I had the noise set up. Can't hear it now. Here we go. It's a nifty little synth. I'm just kind of working through some of the ins and outs of it, trying to figure it out. That's awesome, man. Yeah, just kicking back post work too. I didn't unfortunately get too much done today, but I'm gonna remedy that tomorrow. So hope you're going to stick around for a little while. I got another sucker I'm going to pull out to go with this thing here in a second. Take a while to hook it up, of course. I don't know how I'm going to get room on the camera. I might have to move the keyboard off to the side or something. Or honestly, I might just get rid of the keyboard and just take this thing full open and just, let it drone like an ambient. I need some articulation. Oh, I can just turn it off. There you go. So, most synthesizers, they're, they just have a certain sound to them, you know what I mean? Especially like analog synthesizers. So like right now, I'm just listening to a sawtooth, a triangle, and a square. Some pulse width modulation. It's a really tricky keyboard too. Hey, can you hear me well enough, by the way? Hope you can hear me at all. be pretty foolish if because like I can't really monitor my voice through this effectively. I got to solve that problem. Any kind of monitoring I do of my voice, it's like everything is delayed. Okay, cool. I was just typing in the chat too to make sure if you could hear me. Okay, so man, there's ways to make this thing go crazy. See what I mean? This is like total like Pleiadians. Remember that game? Okay, yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit then. Appreciate that. This is kind of okay now. Maybe still a little bit. I'm trying to put some compression, like some ducking compression on it. Juddy, what's happening? Yeah, it's like a whole bunch of video game type kind of sounds out of these things. I love it. Hey Juddy, how you doing? Yeah, I've been out of it. I'm not going to show you my scar. Don't worry about that. It's pretty gruesome, but we got past it mostly. I was over here trying to drag out some cymbal stands so I could set up this camera in this position. And I went through my whole bag carefully and, you know, making sure not to strain anything. And long story short, I had one just sitting over here waiting, ready to go, right behind me the whole time. Crazy. Couldn't find it in the bag, of course, because it was over here, you know. Okay. See, okay, so what I was going to say before is that, like, you know, for the most part, turn everything back off. These synthesizers are just, you know, pretty normal, okay? Well, I can't get it back to where it was, but that's okay. But what makes them so special is their modulation capabilities. And of course, the interface and how you can like access those modulation capabilities and what all you can modulate and what all you can't modulate. You know, I thought that I had everything turned off just then, but isn't that crazy? That's that one and that one. Duh. So for the most part, you know, it's just like a straight sound, like when you just play like an instrument, you know, like when you hit a note, you hear a note. But what's cool about synthesizers is that you can hit a note and hear all kinds of other notes. And you can do that, of course, with MIDI too, like So that's just MIDI. Then that'd be the same as me trying to play that as fast as I can. This particular keyboard is very, very difficult to play, I found already, because watch what happens when I hold down a key and try to trill the key over to the left. It's very hard to trill. You really got to like just have perfect rhythm to do that. Now, I'm not sure if there's some setting here on the keyboard that will change that. I think that's just the way that this particular synthesizer is. People get really mad at that. They buy something like this and they're going to say, oh my God, hey, okay, let's back up for a second. I wish you call at the beginning of the stream, because I literally thought this thing was broken when I got it. And one of the things that I commented on is that every single synthesizer that I got like this, not because it's Behringer, but because it's analog, and they ship it out with everything turned down and off. So it's up to you to figure out how to flip all the right knobs and turn the right switches. Hey, I said that right. So that you can get a sound to come out of it, so you can start testing and make sure that it even works in the first place. So think about, like, controlling it with your controller, getting the sound out into your mixer, and then streaming all that. So all of the rooms for error, on top of everything. Man, I couldn't, when I got, and I can't backstep right now. I can't retrace my steps to quote unquote solve the problem that I had. But VCO1 was not sounding, only VCO2. What I mean by that is that if I come over here and bypass, I could hear VCO2, but I could not hear, you'll hear it now hopefully, VCO1. When I was hitting these sliders, there was no sound. And I think it was this over here. Yeah, that's why. Check this out. If you have this switch off, oh my God. Here's where I'm going with all of this. How many people are going to return these things and just outright sell them back on Reverb because they think it's broken? I say this every time with one of these Behringer synthesizers, and it's not because it's Behringer. I've got another synthesizer over here by Radical Technologies called the Delta Sep A, and it's even far more complicated than this one. And it's like 3 times more expensive than this one as well. So, every time I get one of these synthesizers, it's great to read the manual first, but guess what? The Cat, losing my voice, the Cat and the Wasp, another Behringer synth, they both don't come with manuals. And I predicted that when I opened the box at the beginning of the stream. I said, I'm predicting that this is not going to come with a manual. No manual, no ribbon cable, and no patch cables. Now, I think that's just because of perhaps who I bought it from. I don't know, because I purchased the Wasp and the Pro One both from Perfect Circuit. The Wasp did not come with the ribbon cable, the power, in case you want to take this out and put it in the Euro rack, and it did not come with any patch cables. The Pro One did. So go figure. I think maybe the difference is that Behringer doesn't really advertise the Cat and the Wasp as Eurorack. They do, but they don't, if you see what I'm saying. They'll say it on their website and everything, but when it comes to any kind of, like, I think when you kind of read the fine print, they almost kind of leave that out. Let me read chat. How are you guys doing? Oh, yeah, this synth is totally broken, man. I'm going to have to send it back. It sucks. Okay, so far, Behringer gets a lot of hate and a lot of flack. I can't help but think that a lot of that is some corporate shills that are just like, being hired. And it is a lot of true people, though. It's not just that. I mean, there's a lot of real people who are fans, and I think that they feel that their investments in vintage synthesizers is being threatened. And I feel sorry for that. But I don't know what to say, This should not be like some sort of elite club that you can't join unless you blah, blah, blah. If you want to buy a synthesizer, you should be able to buy one. This is the 21st century, for crying out loud. This stuff is not that expensive in the first place. The bulk of the expense is the case. This faceplate right here is ridiculous how much it costs to produce. The knobs and just the hardware. The actual circuitry inside, it's like maybe $50 tops, tops. And that's mostly the power stuff, probably. So yeah, the secondhand thing, I paid $300 for this. I got it a little bit of a splurge. I could totally have waited for it. In some sense, like so far I've gotten really lucky on the secondhand market. I've only had a couple issues with some secondhand stuff that I bought. I'm training myself, hopefully be able to fix stuff, as problems arise. So far so good, one day at a time with that. Sometimes it is nice to have a brand new synthesizer though. And in this case, I got this one just right off of Amazon, no taxes, no shipping. So I'm not going to complain about that. I guarantee you're going to see this for $200 on Reverb. Maybe you'll see some people selling it for under $200 at some point, I guarantee it. So, be on the lookout. These are going to be going for pretty cheap. I'll tell you what's really going to go for cheap. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. This is a synthesizer that I absolutely adore. Oh my God, it is a cheaply made synthesizer. This thing is lighter than a Volca. It's bigger than a Volca. The TD3. This thing is absolutely fantastic. It sounds just like a TB303. It's $150. You're going to be able to buy this thing, here after a while for like $100. I guarantee it. The reason why is because people are going to buy this, go, oh yeah, I got me a TB303 clone, woohoo, woohoo. And they're going to start trying to program it, and they're going to hate it. And they're going to realize it's sort of a one-trick pony. They're not going to have the extra effects pedals that you really need. It does have distortion on board, which is pretty darn cool. It kind of makes it like a little bit of a Devilfish mod, just a little bit. Don't quote me on that, of course. Don't hold me to that. But some of the Devilfish mod is distortion. And one of the ways to really make a TB303 bark is to use distortion. And use a whole lot of other effects. And one of the things I love about a TB303 is that it's got like a lot of guitar characteristics to it. So you can really make it sound like a guitar in many, many ways too. Not just like a TB303. You can do a lot of things with it if you use the right effects. Speaking of which, we're fixing to get around to some Mac Daddy effects here in a second. I'm going to have to clear out some room for this thing. Did you guys miss me using my little makeshift MIDI controller that I made earlier? If you did, I'll show that again. And by the way, this Arturia is being powered by a 9-volt battery right now. Oh man. But yeah, it's great. Good to see you guys. Totally. I'll see Judy Poos, hang out. Go follow Bad Tooth Records. I don't have any kind of way to do a shout out. But yeah, you got to check him out. He's going to stream tomorrow night for us and play some music. I was in and out last night. I was really tired. I've not been getting sleep at all because I have to sleep on my back. Okay, let's make some more noise. Oh yeah, you got to turn these things up first. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Is this what I'm talking about? Here we go. So like, just really stock sounds, right? What? Okay, hang on. Let me figure out why that happened. Oh, I just had it in between, that's all. Or some. Ah, I'm at the bottom of the range, that's why. So that is very interesting. The keyboard, like I'm shifted way away from it somehow. I'll have to figure that out later. I'm not worried about that now. I'm just going to noodle for a second. Give me about 5 minutes. I'm going to break out this toy. Isn't that incredible, that stepping? This is an analog synthesizer. Whoa. You can totally get these things to make drum sounds. Wow, this thing is really, really, really cool. Okay. Yeah, thanks for the follow, Jody. Man, I need to get some, I do have, we can get wide in here, you know. We can always get wide in here. But I don't got any people weeb smashing going on. We're fairly anime friendly around here. There's some good anime. I'm not going to smash on any weebs. Not tonight. Okay, you guys want to see box number 2? This one is, probably shouldn't have got this one, but I did. I've been wanting to get this one it's been out for about a year now. And these guys make synthesizers. And, you know, they make great synthesizers. I'm probably not going to get one of their synthesizers because they're pretty expensive. And, I mean, I've, you know, hate to say it, but I'm going with the more cost-effective solution in this particular case. But I do feel really good that I bought one of their products because they're a great company. Anyways, I'll be right back. I think I'm going to have to break out and use this guy because, you know, no more room. So let's go ahead and move the MIDI controller out of the way. Okay, here we go. This is the Dreadbox Hypnosis. And this is you're going to love this one, Bad Tooth. You're going to this one is a really, really, really nice effects unit. I hope I have room on the table here for it. I was a little mad the box here. This is like a paper sleeve, so, you know, it's going to get messed up. I'll do my best to keep it nice and preserved, though. And it does not come off easy. It rips easy, but it won't come off easy. Keep it greasy so it'll go down easy. I'm gonna have to Get some grease on this thing. This might take a while. All right, let's be stupid. Here we go. Quick start guide and a limited warranty. Remember, always give a warranty, never guarantee. Oh man, it comes with a wristband. It says Synth Addict. Right. Got the European adapter. Looks American. Canadians use the same one. There's another foreigner one. Foreigner, pretty good band. That was convenient. Keep that right back there. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to take this whole thing out. Wow. Oh yeah. Oh man, this thing is solid. I gotta do some sweeping here real quick. Yeah, of course the box doesn't just close right back up. I'll worry about that later. Put that aside for now. A little sweeping. Just get right all over me. Why not? Okay, now let me show you something. Oh, actually, let's not do that first. First thing I was going to do is I was going to rip this little protective thing right off because I'm keeping this sucker. But let's test it first. Because I'm always, this is what I'm worried about is, you know, the shipping this thing because I don't know if you can read that or not. That's a spring reverb. Yeah. I've never owned a spring reverb before. Now I want to make my own spring reverb, but you know, when you want to make good sounding music, sometimes you need to just trust the professionals. Even though I'm not a professional. Quick question, guys. What's the difference between a professional and an expert? Winner will win bragging rights to say they got the answer right. All right. I like to label my wall warts. Can mostly see that pretty well in the stream, I think. Now, I didn't mute this, did I? Be stupid if I did. No, we're not on mute. Good. It's going to be the hip. What is this thing, by the way? Center positive. Whoa. 15 volts, 1.5 amps. Sweet. This is actually pretty nice because it is a standard. I believe it is. I can use this for yeah. I'm planning on building another DC-DC, but I'm going to call it Power Station. I think I'm just going to use the Power Station logo spray painted on here somehow. But then for that one, as long as I'm not using this, I can. Yeah, here you go. Beautiful. I could just buy another one probably somewhere, but it's nice to have a this is like, you know, 1.5 amps. It's pretty good. I'd rather have 2 amps. 3 or 4 would be even better, of course, but 15 volts. Then this way I could build another one of these and have a couple 12-volt regulators. So this one has 4 9-volt regulators and then 2 5-volt regulators for the USB. At this point, I don't really need the USB. I mean, I might actually like drill these out and change these out actually. Not anytime soon, but now I've got 2 of these awesome 4-port power banks, and these are hosses. So I can power up any of my USB equipment with that. All right, get that out of the way. So where was I? Labeling the wall wart. And of course I wrote that on the wrong spot, whatever. It'll show up sometime as a surprise. Be funny. Yeah, the joke, or at least I was trying to make a joke, was that like, Hypno Toad from Futurama. It's like the Hypno Cat. Okay. Way too much stuff. So plugging in the wall wart. Pushing the gear back. Pushing the gear back. Pushing the gear back. Here we go. 15 volts in. On. We got something. So how do I want to do this? Let me think for a second. What I want to do is, I think I want to do this as like an effect send. That's part of me. I'm going to have to pull this down. You may not be able to see the bottom too much, but once I get everything in, may have a solution. It's a little dangerous. Give me a second here. Okay, I just got to be careful not to rock the boat, because that will go over. I'm not keeping up with chat. I apologize. What's going on? Okay, so you asked the question, what's the difference between an expert and a professional? The difference is simply that a professional gets paid for the job. That's all. That's it. You don't have to know what you're doing. If somebody, it happens all the time, right? I mean, yeah, you could be a crook and also be a professional, but so there's that. But an expert, and of course this is highly subjective, but the professional, that's pretty much an objective definition for a professional. But subjectively speaking, and this is kind of widely agreed upon, by me and myself and I, is that an expert is someone who's been doing something specifically for 10 years, a good 10 years of doing something. That's just a good litmus test. So, like, I'm an expert drummer, for example. I've been playing drums for well over 10 years. I'm not an expert hardware jammer. I've only been doing it for roughly 3 or 4 years. Isn't that funny? So I would not consider myself an expert on what I'm doing right here at all. Just I am highly knowledgeable. Now I do have, you could say maybe cumulatively I have garnered 10 years, however. I do have a degree in audio engineering, so that's like about 3 years there, all the years of playing music and other stuff, but subtractive synthesis wise, probably, maybe 3 or 4 years. Okay, I need to get some more audio cables. I'm going to come out of the effects send on the mixer, which you can still just barely see here in the back. Okay, so I got some cables here. Here's just a standard TS 1/4 inch that I soldered myself. Here's a breakout that I bought off of Amazon. It's a Hosa. So this will give me my stereo return. I think out of this guy. Wait a second. Duh. We come out of mono. I'm running out of. Okay, I'm not going to use this cable. I'll tell you what I'm going to do instead. Yeah, I lied. I'm not going to show you what I just did. That was surprisingly difficult, but I managed to cannibalize one of my other cables that I'm using over here on the other side of the table. Do I dare show that? Why not? Let's give it a shot. Hang on a sec. Back. OBS. Yeah, there's the Delta Sep right there, and there's the Wasp. There's where I grabbed the Keystep. This is the Delta Sep right here, and this thing is an absolute beast. I mean, it's like these two combined, and with a whole lot more that this thing can do over here. The Wasp is kind of similar to the Cat, but you know, and really surprisingly enough, like no, they all have their unique special flavors. I was gonna say the Wasp is kind of the least flavorful out of the bunch, but it's got some buzz to it. No pun intended. Okay, so this will be the return. Track 9 and 10. I hope this is going to reach somehow. Oh, completely think this through, unfortunately. I can't take the mixer back anymore. Here we go. Now this does feature stereo in, but I'm only going to use the mono in. Where is the Xen? Found it. Okay, hang on a sec. It's the way that things are bent right now. It's hard to get. I wish you could see this part so you could see me struggle. Surprisingly, I'm not really in pain right now. Oh, don't drop that. It'd be a disaster. Okay, mono in is all the way over here. Difficult to get in. Let me push out a little bit more. Get you straight in there. There you go. Okay. Oh boy. I want to sit down and take a drink of water after that. How y'all doing? Oh, I forgot I had the camera switched over there. Ha 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 ha. Whoa, why is that shaking like that now? Oh, sorry, I switched back over. Okay, I'm going back and forth between OBS and Twitch. And I was like, switched over to Twitch, and I'm like watching the camera move. I'm going out of my mind over here. I apologize. Trying to think too much. So this table, to answer your question, Bad Tooth, how long is this table? It's two tables, and each one is like 5 feet. So it's like 10 feet across. And I need to elevate it, actually. I need to start taking things up. I get some stands and some stacks and whatnot. And because it's like I'm stooping over too much when I do these jams, and I think that's what's kind of affecting what got the sciatica kicked off in the first place. I notice anytime I come back and try to do a jam after I've been like injured, it starts to come back a little bit. So, no, I'm a little too tall for this table, I guess. If it was like raised up a bit, it'd be okay. I'll figure it out though. That's what I'm going to do a few more jams with the setup, and then I'm just going to just completely rearrange everything. Yeah, postures, yes. So when you get to our age, it's like, oh, okay. I was talking to one of my friends, and her husband was kayaking recently, and he threw his shoulder out doing something like going over, and I need to be careful, by the way, because I kind of threw my right shoulder out, and so I do not want to do what he just did, not after what I've been through. But he was fine, but then all of a sudden, like I don't know what the details are specifically, but he was rotating his shoulder, or whatever. He ended up like breaking it, and he's gonna have to have surgery now for it. It's crazy. The APC 40 and APC 20. What are those? I should know. I know APC is another acronym for Atari Punk Console, which I happen to have one, believe it or not. Right? Oh, dude, I should also try this out through the Hypnosis. This is an Atari Punk Console, and I kind of drilled out the case on my own and painted it up. But it's just a little Synthotech thing. It's I'd show it to you, but I can't actually. It's I didn't make this one. It's a kit that I bought, but I put it in the case. Oh, the Ableton controllers. Yeah. That's some important stuff to be able to do. Okay. So let's see what's going on here real quick. See if I can still get a sound out of this thing. Oh, sorry about that, by the way. Warning, it's incoming sound. Just going to turn that down a bit so it's not terribly annoying. So let's see, I want to send this out to the unit. Effects send, I'm going to crank it to about halfway. And try to figure out what to do next. Also, hey, I tell you what, let's use the drum machine. So I have no idea what I'm doing here. Let's take a look at the quick guide. Maybe it will give us a power on your unit. Wait for a couple seconds. We did that. Set the input level so you can barely see the spring light blinking. Okay. So this is where I'm new with this mixer. Of course, that effects wasn't coming out either. But I should be seeing this light right here kind of doing this. Okay, my input's right here. Let me get this going again. Just a simple pattern though. There we go. So you can barely see the spring. Okay. Okay, so now I need to get the signal out. So behind me, you can't see the mixer. I'm taking this back into, okay, I want to do this differently. I'm not going to use 9 and 10 because those are actually technically 2-track in. I'm going to go into 7 and 8. And we'll take that level up. I'm not hearing anything. Doesn't mean I'm doing this right though. We do have the sending correctly. Hang on a second. Okay. Just need to figure out how to get, by the way, the bypass on right here, it's actually, you want that way. But I ain't hearing nothing yet, that's okay. Just means I don't know what I'm doing. We'll figure it out. Just takes a second. The amount might be down. No idea. Okay, no big deal. There is a gain on the back of this thing. See, this is where I wish at this point I was using. Oh, sorry for that camera focus. That's awful. This is where it's better for me to use my mixer that I'm already comfortable with. So okay, so what's happening here? If you can see, the red and the black are the output, right? They're not the input. Yeah, they're the output. We've already established I'm getting an input. That's fine. So the input's coming from the effects end, which I have turned up on the track and turned up on the main track. From here is the problem, though. I've got the output, the red and the black cable right here, and I know it works. I was just using it earlier on this other jam, but I'm going into track 7 and 8. There's no mute. There's no send to bus buttons or anything like that. It's very straightforward. Now it's a bit unfortunate in this particular case because there are no bus buttons. Like over here on my main mixer, I can have it go to a track and know that it's coming here to this unit and just, like, or even a solo button, for crying out loud, right? There's no solo buttons on this mixer. That's a bummer. And then I can make sure that I'm hearing signal coming back. So all I can do at this point is hope that this is a very light output, which I doubt, and turn the gain up on the mixer here. So I'm going to turn the beat up again. Watch your volume. Okay. It's now okay. So here's what's going on. I'm turning up the gain, but I'm turning up the gain for 8, not 7. 7 doesn't do anything. So I'll figure this out later. But here we go. Not too bad, huh? Oh crap, I forgot how to use my own MIDI controller. Hey, thanks y'all for showing up. I'm calling it a night. This was a success. It was kind of a scary success because every step of the way I felt like something was going to break. At this point, I feel like everything's going to fall over and break now. But Thanks for stopping once again. Hey, I hope you really enjoyed that. That was kind of fun. Yeah, this is a wonderful little device. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this thing. And this synthesizer surprised the heck out of me with some of its quirky kind of Palladian type kind of sounds that it can accomplish. I already forgot how I did that, so I'm gonna have to go through and learn this. It's gonna take a while. And by the way, if you look at this, like think in terms of semi-modular, you can almost think to yourself, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modules, maybe 6. And you kind of think about what they are. You know, some of them get kind of specialty, like this actually has MIDI, for example. And then you consider like this is in its own case with power, and it was $300. I think that's a lot cheaper than going Euro rack. But I plan on like building some modules for myself though, but it's not to save money. It's to learn how to build modules. So that's going to be hopefully streams in the future. That'll be a lot of fun. All right, I'm calling it a night. Bad Tooth Record, thanks a lot. Judd, if you're still around, appreciate it. Anybody else who's out there, including myself, thanks once again. Good night. Cheers. You too, Bad Tooth. I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care. You're welcome. Thanks for hanging out.